80% of Americans are in debt, and a lot of them make mistakes when trying to pay it off. Are you thinking about dipping into your 401k or taking equity out of your home to pay credit card debt? Before you make that move that can cost you thousands in interest, costs, and penalties, let's talk. Hello, I'm Judah Z, founding partner of PandA Law Firm, a law firm that's dedicated to consumer rights and debt relief. Today, we're going to talk about how you can avoid making mistakes when withdrawing money from your 401k or other investments or equity from your home to pay off unsecured debt like credit cards, personal loans, car repos, things of that nature. What we need to understand is that certain types of accounts or funds, those being in retirement accounts like IRAs or 401ks or equity in your primary residence, right, where you live, are all afforded additional legal protection that other accounts are not. So creditors oftentimes, and it's based upon state law, cannot collect on those kinds of retirement accounts or equity in your home. There's essentially additional protections. Those protections also roll over to the bankruptcy scenario. They're what's called bankruptcy exemptions. So oftentimes all of your retirement account 401k monies are protected up to no limit. And then also the money in your primary residence also protected if you homestead it. So let's first understand that money in retirement accounts, whether they're IRA, 401k, and also your equity in your primary residence, are afforded additional protections that other kinds of assets are not. Think about checking account, banking account, stocks, bonds. They don't get the same kind of protections that your retirement account and your equity in your home get. That protection being that creditors cannot easily access that money. Those protections also roll over to the bankruptcy scenario. In the bankruptcy, you're allowed exemptions, protections for those retirement account monies and the equity in your home. And here's why that's important. We don't want to use those monies that are protected, that are essentially your nest egg for when you retire, to resolve debt. We'd rather use other kinds of monies, call it income or savings that you may have outside of retirement account, to resolve your debt issues. And that's because liquidating these assets will make them exposed to creditors who can now collect on them. And number two, you may have to pay tax penalties or interest or costs for you to remove those monies, or for you to take out a HELOC, home equity line of credit, on your home to pay down those creditors. We don't want to do that because you lose the protection and you've lost your nest egg for when you retire. So let's talk a little bit more about those possible unforeseen tax consequences. First off, there may be early withdrawal penalties. Sometimes when you're taking money out of your retirement accounts and is at the age of retirement, you may have to pay tax penalties at that point in time, right? So that's going to cost you more money. Second, that may be considered additional income, right? And that may change your tax bracket. Instead of being at a 20% tax bracket, maybe you find yourself at a 30% or above tax bracket. Not a good thing because the government's getting more money. So you should definitely, before you take any of those monies out of those retirement accounts, talk to a tax professional. Let's talk about the ramifications of taking out equity out of your primary residence to pay your debt. Well, first off, you got to qualify for it, and you may not be able to do that if your debt to income ratio is too high, right? Or if you're behind on your debts, so maybe it's not even an option. But even if it is an option, given interest rates nowadays, you're gonna be paying somewhere probably between 6 to 9% on that home equity line of credit. So now you're paying interest on debt to pay down debt. You're paying double interest almost. So really not the best way to go about it. And once again, you're eating away on your retirement. A lot of Americans use their primary residence as a source of assets and income once they retire. So we don't want to use that all up on paying unsecured debt that we can probably take care of just through your monthly income or through bankruptcy options. Now, in some cases, it may be wise to pull upon the 401k or equity in your home, right? But it's rare. But if it is, perhaps there's better ways to go about it. Maybe you can take a 401k loan where you repay back that debt to your own 401k. If we do need to take money out of your retirement, you need to talk to an attorney about how much to take out, because we want to limit that to just the amount necessary to get you over that hump to either pay down that debt or somehow resolve it in another way. So if you are at the point of considering taking money out of your 401k or taking equity out of your home, it's imperative that you talk to a debt relief attorney now, because that proper debt relief attorney can talk to you about debt settlement options and bankruptcy options. First off, if you're just taking money out of the 401k and giving it to the credit card company, you're only getting a 1-to-1 ratio on your buying power. If a proper attorney can do debt settlement for you, they can often 3 times that buying power. So that $1 that you took out of your 401k can actually pay down your debt $3. So that's why it's important to talk to an attorney about the debt relief option. Second, maybe debt relief or debt settlement is not the best way to go, and maybe bankruptcy is the best way to go. But if you take that money out of that 401k or out of your home equity, now it's not protected. So we got to talk to an attorney at the front end to determine, well, whether that's the best way to go. And if not, let's leave that money there. We file the bankruptcy, that asset is completely protected. We get rid of the debt, and now you still have all your savings. And that's really a big win. If you are still considering taking money out of your 401k or taking equity out of your home to pay down your debt, you should still talk to an attorney. Here's why. There might be other sources of income that we can use to resolve this debt. Maybe it's a tax refund coming in. Maybe it's a personal injury settlement coming in. Maybe you're getting a raise, right? Or we can limit your other debts somehow to help you afford paying off this other debt via debt settlement. These are all reasons why you should talk to an attorney who's an objective source who can really look at all your legal options to determine what may be the best route for you to go. Additionally, there's a possibility that if you're already behind on your debt, maybe you've been sued improperly, maybe you have debt collectors acting improperly, maybe they're putting inaccurate information on your credit report. We can use those fact patterns to actually file a lawsuit against your creditor or the credit bureaus, and oftentimes that will knock out the debt in full and get you some money in your pocket. And the beautiful part about that is it doesn't cost you any money. You don't have to pay that lawyer up front. We get paid a contingency fee on that. So if you don't know, you don't know. It's better to ask, and there might be some great options out there besides you drawing upon your retirement or pulling on the equity of your home and risking your financial future. To review a little bit, money in your retirement accounts, 401k money, equity in your home are afforded additional legal protections, which means we don't want to take those monies out of those vehicles to pay down debt because it exposes you to creditors attaching it. Also understand, taking money out of your 401k or retirement accounts or taking equity out of your home has additional costs that you may not be aware of. Tax penalties, interest you're going to pay, costs on the loan. That's money taken away out of your future retirement. Let's not do that. If you're considering doing any of these things, these extreme things of taking money out of your retirement account or equity out of your home, please go talk to a legal professional first. We can address other options you may have, which can help you avoid those drastic steps. If you like what you've learned in this video today, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're happy to give you more information about this subject. If you would like additional time with one of our attorneys, please contact us via pandalawfirm.com or look at our website in the description below. You'll have a free consultation with one of our legal professionals. If you want to learn more about debt relief mistakes, check out this video about how to save your home in a bankruptcy filing.